You're probably building rapport all wrong in your sales conversations. Now, in this video, we're going to cover two things. What is wrong with the way most people are building rapport right now, and simply how to build rapport properly. Let's not waste time. Let's jump into it. So like I said before, the way most people build rapport is all wrong. And, more specifically, their idea of what rapport is all wrong. You see, most people, when you're talking about building rapport with them, they think it's this isolated moment at the beginning of the sales call where you're just breaking the ice, breaking down the prospect's walls. So then, once you do a good job there, they believe, hey, the rest of the call is going to go great now. The rapport's built, the wall's broken, the ice has been shattered, right? The problem with that is this makes people try to shove a bunch of nonsensical small talk in the beginning of their sales calls, which could be doing more damage than not. Spending a few minutes at the beginning of the call talking about the weather, talking about how you just went to the gym today, asking them how's their day going, and getting into this, long drawn out conversation that's not really necessary or to the point of why they're on the call in the first place. That is not building rapport. It can be, but it's not this hard set rule that, hey, at the beginning of the call, let's waste as much time as possible before we actually get into the reasoning for the call. And I'll explain how to gauge when to and when not to in a moment. And the reason why there's so much nuance to this, and the reason why so many people struggle with it, is because using that version of building rapport where you're just wasting time at the beginning of the call, it doesn't take into account personality types, and it doesn't take into account what the actual definition, what building rapport actually is. So let's get super nerdy for a second. And if we actually look at the definition of rapport, at least explained by Wikipedia, it says rapport is a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned are in sync with each other, understanding each other's feelings or ideas, and communicate smoothly. The word derives from the French verb rapporter, which means literally to carry something back. Forgetting that last piece, let's focus on a couple words in this definition. The ones being harmonious relationship, the ones being in sync, and the ones being having an understanding of each other's feelings or ideas. So it stands to reason that if you want to build really good rapport, you want to be in sync with the person. You want to be harmonious with the person, which means that the call is flowing naturally in alignment with the energy that that person is bringing to the call, with the way that that person would want the conversation to go, right? If you want to build rapport, if you want to build a relationship, if you want that person to kind of start to like you or at least enjoy the conversation with you, the call should flow in a way that they would love for that call to flow. Now, this is going to mean different things for different people. That's why we can't set that hard rule of, hey, talk about the weather, ask these specific questions at the beginning of the call. It has to be natural. For example, there's tons of times where I'm on a call with someone who's just a super direct prospect. They just want to get in. They want to get to the point. They don't like fluffy small talk. They don't come across as the most friendly person. And if you're like, hey, let me try to break down this person's shell. Let me try to build rapport with them. Let me say, hey, how's your day going? Where are you from? Where are you calling in from? If you're asking them all these questions, that's going to do the opposite. That's going to just piss them off. That's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is just another, fluffy salesman that's just trying to waste time. I just want to get to the point. When on the flip side, you're actually going to build a ton of rapport with that person, is if as soon as they get on the call and you can tell right away, hey, this person's super direct, you get super direct as well. And you say, cool, I love it. Let's not waste any time. And you're getting right into the call, right? That's what's going to build rapport with the person is, at least at the beginning of the call, matching that energy, right? Now, on the flip side, there's a lot of times where I have prospects where they're super chatty, super friendly, they're asking all these questions, how's your day going? Now I'm matching that energy. If I come into that call and I'm like, they're, being friendly and having that energy, and I'm now the direct one, I'm being the, super, hey, let's get to the point kind of person, they might take that as rude, right? So the friendly person will see my directness as rudeness, and the direct person will see my friendliness as just being annoying, right? But if I'm friendly to the friendly person and I'm direct with the direct person, it builds rapport with both of those people. But that is not where rapport begins and ends, right? That is where it starts, but rapport is continued in the level of quality questions you ask throughout the call. Someone is going to enjoy the conversation with you much more if they feel heard, if they feel understood, if your questions seem based on the context of the conversation that you're having with that person. Now, you're going to kill rapport if you're just sitting there with your scripted questions sounding like every other salesperson that they've ever talked to. that's going to kill rapport because, they're just going to feel like you're just putting them in your process to try and sell a product rather than actually hearing them out, actually listening and showing a genuine curiosity in their situation. Rapport, people like people that are interested in them. So you're going to build a ton of rapport by being genuine. You're going to build a ton of rapport by being hyper curious. And it's a real, like I said, genuine curiosity. And you're asking great questions that are layered questions based off of the thing they just said. You're not asking all of these scripted questions that are completely jumping through and changing the topic over and over again. They're giving you information, and based on the sentence they just gave you, you're asking a question from the information they gave you, showing that you're listening attentively. And it's a really good question that actually makes them think. Whether you're talking about the problem and the struggles they're facing, you're asking them great questions that make them think about their problem, maybe in a way they've never really thought about it before. If you're in the midst of the call where you're talking about their goals and aspirations, you're asking them a question that maybe prompts them to think about their goals on a deeper level that maybe they've never thought about it before, and so on and so forth, right? So to kind of sum it up, you want to build great rapport at the beginning of the call. Match energy. If that person is more friendly, more bubbly, and the call is flows more naturally, you reciprocating that energy, then do that. If the person comes on the call and they're super direct, I like to be super direct as well, because that kicks it off and they say, okay, you know what? I like this guy. He's direct. He's not wasting time. Let's get into it, right? Now, when you're going throughout the call, listen attentively, be genuine in your curiosity, and ask great questions that show that you're listening attentively as well. Do that and you will build much better rapport in your sales calls. Now, there's lots of other things that you're going to want to know how to do in your sales calls. If you want to see some videos on that, if you want to learn about that, watch one of the videos I have here on the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one.